Hello everyone. In the series of learning database management system, our today's topic is asset properties. These properties are also known as properties of transaction. So let's understand why we need them. Basically, to ensure integrity of the data, we require that the database system maintain these following properties of transaction. Nothing but asset property. In the previous lecture, we have already discussed about transaction. So we know that a collection of operation that perform a single logical unit of work are called as transaction. And because of transaction, there will be certain updates can be there in the data items. So transaction is the only one which will interact with the database. So to ensure the consistency and integrity, it is very necessary that our transaction should follow some property, and those properties are asset properties. Here A stands for atomicity, C for consistency, I stands for isolation, and D for durability. So let's understand each and every point one by one. First is atomicity. A transaction is an atomic unit of processing. It is either performed entirely or not performed at all. So either all the operation of the transaction are reflected properly in the database, or none of the operation will be reflected. Now, why it is so? Now, suppose um, we have taken this example in the previous transaction lecture also. If you have not gone through that video, please go to that video so you will understand about read and write and how transaction works. So this is a transaction where from account A I'm transferring 100 rupees to account B. Now, suppose in the beginning of this transaction, this account A has 1000 rupees and this account B has 2000 rupees. Now, what is happening here when I'm writing this command read A? So, before transferring the money, what we are going to do? We will check the balance of account A, and same thing we will do for account B also. Then only we will either debit or credit in the account. So here I want to transfer 100 rupees from account A to account B. So as soon as I'm reading this instruction is coming to me, read A, what will happen? A local copy from main memory, from the disk, from in the main memory, a local copy or a temporary buffer, the value of A will come. Now what we are doing here, we are debiting from account A. So from account A, 100 rupees are debited. Okay, and then what is happening? Again, we are sending the final value to the database by this write operation. So if account A has 1000 rupees and we subtracted 100 rupees, so at this stage, after these three instruction, write A, what is the balance of account A? 900 rupees, right? So in the database, there will, if we want to write, the final value of A will be 900. Now, suppose that during the execution of this transaction, any failure occur. Now, the failure can be of any type, power failure or hardware failure or software error, any kind of failure occur. And that failure happens after these three instructions. The money is deducted from account A, but it haven't reached to account B. And in between, the failure happened. Now, because of this failure, now my database came to a inconsistent state. Why? Because account A had 1000 rupees and account B had 2000 rupees. That means total money involved was 3000 rupees. But what happened now? 100 rupees is debited from account A. That means now account A is having 900 rupees, but still, because it's not credited to account B, still account B is having 2000 rupees. So 2000 plus 900, it's just 2900. 100 rupees is missing. Thus, my database is now in inconsistent state. So to ensure that these kind of inconsistency will not be there permanently, what we have to do, we have to check the atomicity. The atomicity property ensures that these inconsistencies will not be visible. So the basic idea behind ensuring atomicity is the database keeps track of old value of any data on which a transaction performs a write, and if the transaction does not complete its execution, the database system restores that old value. So here what happened? Failure occur. So amount was deducted, but because of failure, the amount was not credited. So what this atomicity property will ensure? It will ensure that instead of that 900, again the value of A will become 1000. It will restore the previous value of A, account A, that was 1000 rupees. So either the transaction, all the instruction will execute, otherwise nothing will happen. It will just simply roll back with its old value. So this is basically atomicity. Now, ensuring atomicity is the responsibility of the database itself. So a point to remember for you, this atomicity is handled by a component called as transaction management component. It can be asked for 1 mark in many competitive exams and university exam. So which component ensures atomicity? That component is transaction management component. And what exactly atomicity says? It says either all the instruction of any particular transaction will occur, otherwise nothing will happen. So either all or nothing at all. That is the logo of your atomicity. I hope it is clear. Next we have consistency. Now, a correct execution of the transaction must take the database from one consistent state to another consistent state. So basically this consistency requirement is where when we start working on any database, it's in consistent state. I know that in my account right now there is 1000 rupees. Now when I want to transfer the money to somebody else account, I know that the money will go there. So from my account to his or her account, the money is going. If it is debited from my account, the same amount should get credited to the other person's account. So the value of account A and account B, the sum of the value before transaction should be equal to sum of the value of account A and account B after transaction. Then we are saying it is in consistent state. So it can be verified very easily that if the database is consistent before an execution of the transaction, or the database remain consistent after the uh, transaction. So consistency basically deals with your consistency state, that the value which was present earlier, the same value is present after the transaction also. So there will be no data loss. That is consistency. Third property is isolation. Now, even though transactions are executing concurrently, they should appear to be executed in isolation. That is, if the final effect should be as if each transaction was executed in isolation from start to finish. Now, understand this. This is very desirable property because We cannot allow the resource to execute things serially. uh, we want to save time, and to save the processor we want a concurrent transaction. Now here if you can see the database, if we see here account A is transferring money to account B. Now in between, if any other transaction is also taking place, let us suppose this is transaction T1 and other transaction T2 is also takes place at the same time, and because here after deduction of 100 rupees, and because of failure my amount was not credited to account B, this transaction took my database to inconsistent state, but it should not affect any other transaction. That is isolation. Or let me take another example. Let's suppose I am booking a ticket for a movie. Now at the same time others are also booking ticket for the movie, but my transaction, how I am dealing with that database and how others are dealing with that database, they are happening concurrently, but they are not colliding with each other. What ticket I want, I will get that ticket. What seat I want, I will get that seat. Same thing is if we are going for a restaurant and if we are ordering something. Now doesn't matter whether the restaurant is full or empty. If I'm ordering something, I will get that order. And if other person on the same time is ordering in the same restaurant, then also he will get his own order. Our orders will not collide with each other. So this is isolation. That means all the transaction will happen simultaneously, but logically they are isolated from each other. So point to remember here: ensuring the isolation property is the responsibility of a component of the database system known as concurrency control component. Fine. Next we have durability. This durability is also known as permanence. Once the transaction is committed, its changes applied to the database must never be lost because of subsequent failures. Now, if our transaction is committed, let us suppose here we were transferring the money from account A to account B. Here the amount is debited from account A, and then here because of this instruction amount is credited to account B, and final write will update the database, value of A also, value of B also. And if then we are doing final commit, then what will happen? The value will be permanently stored in the database. Now because of any kind of system failure or disk failure, because of all these things, this value should not get deleted from the database. It should be permanently stored, it should be durable in the database. Until and unless we are not explicitly changing the database, the value should not get deleted from there or updated from there. That is the constraint of durability. Now, point to remember for durability: ensuring durability is the responsibility of a component of the database system called recovery management component. So, recovery management will take cares for durability. So, this is it for today. These are few asset properties which all transaction must follow to ensure integrity and consistency. I hope this lecture is clear. Thank you.